south of the border on a Monday night. It's the coach. This is Week 11 of the NFL on EA Sports. Straight ahead, the NFL has traveled to Mexico, and they're going to be treated to one of the best games of the entire year, as we'll see the Kansas City Chiefs and the LA Chargers. I'll be back at halftime, but first we head down to Estadio Azteca, 7,200 feet above sea level, as we say hola to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
From the oldest capital city in the Americas, founded in 1325, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Mexico City. Tonight, it's another installment of the International Series, and we've got a good one on tap between the Kansas City Chiefs and our home team. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So here are the Chiefs now coming out for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their 6'4 quarterback.
What I enjoyed this week is that you asked to talk to his offensive center before the game and find out a little bit more about him and what the relationship is. And that was a pretty positive story, wasn't it?
Yeah, and really what I took away from that is just how it has permeated throughout the entire offensive line, the relationship they've had. It's really a group that's in sync.
They care about him. That's the thing. They really care. And when you care that much, you're going to play that much harder for him and give him a better chance to lead the team to wins.
And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. On 1st down, Hurd, and an alley to run. That one good for 12 yards and a Kansas City first. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Sliding out of the pocket. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off near the 26. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. Here's a Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Here's James. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. Now on 3rd down, an extra DB out there for the Chiefs. Back to throw. Flushed out right. Going right side here, and that's complete. It's a gain of 26 as they pick up the first down of the process. So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 32-yard line. On the ground, it's James. He's got a first down and much more inside the 20. And he's in for a Charger touchdown. A great play there. His 4th touchdown on the year as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Solid job up front, really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
Yeah, that was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown. The try here for the extra point. And the Chargers grab the 7-0 lead. Just a 4-play drive that time. And a pretty good run there in the end to top it off. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now here comes Kansas City. They had the interception last time. It led to the opening touchdown. So now 7-0 to score as they start 1st and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He's going to have the hook up to Scott. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That one good for 12 yards into Kansas City first. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 3 catches, 58 yards.
And he was able to haul that pass in there, but he knows he's got a tough task ahead of him. This unit in the top 5 in the NFL against the pass. He's going to have to really work hard to get open.
And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. And the big boys up front in the trenches, what do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Operating from the gun. Eason flush to his right. And his pass incomplete. Now a look at the Chargers starting 11 on defense. Now, they've been a very good unit against the pass, defending at 5th best in the league.
And since this is such a good unit of covering passes downfield, I think that last play is typical of what we might see. A lot of short passes, see if they can generate some run after the catch, but nothing doing on that one.
An incomplete pass on 2nd down. That muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
The Chargers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. They'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. Means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
And he's brought down after a very nice game. Heck of a start, a 30-yard pickup on their first play from scrimmage.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. So the line of scrimmage all the way up to midfield now as they've got it 1st and 10. They'll set up a throw, escaping the pressure right. And he will find Winslow. That's complete. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
Oh, he's got a little daylight. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 27 yards there, a first down. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
They'll buy some time right. And this will be caught. It's Johnson for the Charger touchdown. From 17 yards out, the Chargers, they're able to widen their lead.
He was able to move around and found some vision to throw the football. And how about how he ended it? Boy, he had some zip on that throw.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have an arm like that. Results in the touchdown here. Great play offensively. Point after here coming up. And it's good to make it 14-0. So the drive there, 5 plays, 80 yards. And it winds up with a touchdown for Los Angeles. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. A reminder that we'll have more football here on EA Sports coming up Thursday night with the start of Week 12. We'll be, about 1,000 miles north of here and back down at sea level as well to watch the Colts and the Texans in Houston. 2 playoff teams from a year ago. They'll do battle with kickoff at 8:20 Eastern time. Dancing to his left. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. That one good for 12 yards into Kansas City first. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And some room to run now. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That one 28 yards on the ground.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense ended up winning the ultimate battle.
And those big runs between the tackles, that's a little deflating for a defense, isn't it?
It really is, because that's where your strength's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a spot where they can't make that yardage there. You're supposed to send them outside. Not in this case.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Let's go, defense. Ready?
From the gun, Eason forced out to his left. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. Eluding the pressure right. Got a man, that's complete. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
Ready. 60 outlaw. Right there. It's a party now.
On 3rd and 2, Eason flushed out right. And that will be incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And this one is right through. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon. And think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. We're in the 2nd quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, try to get him more involved here on this drive maybe. On 2nd down now, it's James. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a 3rd down.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down, because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They need to make up some ground, and they did.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there, 21 yards. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. They go play action here on 1st down. Flush to his right. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They run it with James. And that'll hurt the average a bit, as this time they're able to get him behind the line. We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left in the opening half. Back to throw here. Rolling to his right. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line. Chandler, the intended receiver.
It's just me and you.
Throwing on 1st down. Eason looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Carson. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. The catch and run, good for 18 and a 1st down.
70, Indy.
On 1st and 10, Eason out to his left. Throwing into traffic there, and that's complete. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line.
Now that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up first downs.
Back to throw. Eason. The Chiefs will use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. Steps away. And he's caught for the touchdown, Kansas City. From 19 yards away as his guys are back within a single score.
I think everyone in the league talks about finishing, don't they? Doesn't matter whether it's a quarter, a half, a game, a series, whatever. But they're finishing the first half in fine style, putting that one in the end zone.
They did, and they didn't leave much time on the clock either. Well done. Extra point right down the middle, and that makes it a 14-10 ball game. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown. This is fielded at the goal line. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. The passing game, they've had more success there than the running game. Maybe something they game plan for.
How come they didn't tell us about it?
Because they wanted to keep it a secret.
We did ask, didn't we? But I think what happened in this one is they've realized that they've established the run pretty well, and teams are going to key on that. They thought they could open it up and have success through the air, and that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, they've had success, at least so far, here in the second quarter. So we are at halftime here on a Monday night as we send you up to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll get our tour started out at Venerable Soldier Field in Chicago. And that's been a back-and-forth game, all tied in the second quarter. Next, we head off to check out another game. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. So the Chargers will start the second half with the lead and the football as we're underway in the third quarter. This fielded at the 2. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So here are the Chargers to take over. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll start the third quarter here on the ground. And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33. A gain of 3, second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. Looking to throw. They'll roll, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Chalk that up as their first sack in this game, and they tallied 4 a week ago.
And probably not as much exultation in that sack as what took us so long. Because when you get 4 the previous week, you're counting on continuing that momentum. They didn't get that done in the first half of the game. Let's see now if they start to bring even more exotic pressure towards the quarterback.
Here we go. Here we go.
So here's the Chiefs offense ready for their first reps in half number 2. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use, just something to get you off to a quick start.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Eason escaping the pressure right. Looking downfield, and that's caught right side. He's got his man. 22 yards there, a first down.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up a first down with a nice throw.
Break. Yeah. Mike, 58, right there. You remote this.
They'll run on first down. Hurd. Room here to run. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is in. Touchdown, Kansas City. A great effort there. His 11th touchdown of the year. And the Chiefs have taken the lead.
I know the play ends up in the end zone with one person carrying the ball, but how about that big mass of humanity that guided him to that spot?
Yeah, they got there, but I love the dive. Always a fan of the dive. Now the try here for the extra point. It's good, and they'll take a 17-14 lead. So that drive, 4 plays, and it results in a 4-yard touchdown run. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. Now he's going to throw it deep to the other side of the field. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down. Well, this secondary has done such a good job of frustrating these receivers tonight. Another example right there on the deep ball.
Sometimes when the sun goes down and it's just the bright lights in the stadium, there's a little extra spring in their step, doesn't it? And that's what we're seeing from the defenders. It doesn't matter whether it's man or zone, deep ball, short ball. That was a deep one there. They were making plays on the football, contesting everything.
Well, they were in search of a short gain on third down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 38. On 1st down, it's James. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Sliding out of the pocket. And he'll get this one complete to Winslow. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. A 1st down there on a pickup of 25. They'll run on 1st down. James. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run?
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. Accelerating, and off he goes. And he will score. Touchdown, Kansas City.
Well, partner, I do know this. If you're a defensive back, you have more chances to make a team now than ever because people are using 5 defensive backs, 6 defensive back packages. Not exclusively, but way more than before. That was a nickel package there, and what a pickoff.
Why is that? Why are they using that more?
Because more people are throwing the ball on earlier downs than ever before. This has become a passing league, and because of that, more defensive backs on the field on most plays.
A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. And following the pick 6, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told us they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
Being chased out left. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. He'll look to throw. Flushed out right. And he is going to be taken down. And that should be the final play of this 3rd quarter. Back now in Mexico City. It's Charger football, but they trail here as we get going in quarter number 4. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. On is the Chargers punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. A field position changer there. 49 yards on the punt. Couple that with a loss on the return. And it's Chiefs football. 1st and 10. So here are the Chiefs to take over. They've dropped 4 straight games coming into this one, remember, but they have the lead here. Throwing to start the drive. Eason. And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line.
Well, I get what he was trying to do. He was moving to his right and trying to shift the coverage, but instead he shifted the coverage also to the right and threw right into it for an interception.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Chandler. And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. 19 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have it 1st and goal. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll try to run this one in, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. 2nd and goal from the 6 this time. 2nd and 6. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation. Chandler was the intended target. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it? Kurt Coleman?
Oh, yeah, that's
then
right.
with the Eagles?
That's right. Then with the Eagles, and I believe it's against Washington and Rex Grossman.
That's correct. On 1st down, Hurd fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Now a deep ball going to be caught here near midfield. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. That one good for 26 and a 1st down.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
They'll run on 1st down. Hurd. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. Under 4 to go now as the clock runs, and they come up on 2nd down. 2nd and 1. And that is incomplete.
Well, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away. Turns into a nice play.
They tried to throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. Looking to throw. Eason. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. He's now just 3 yards shy of 197 yards receiving on the contest and a 1st down. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Back to throw. Eason. Wide open receiver, complete. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. 25 yards for the touchdown. And the Chiefs are able to extend their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Extra point splits the uprights, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. That drive goes 80 yards in 6 plays, and it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And right now, probably just one thing in his mind, it's getting back to the hot start because he's really faded.
And ordinarily when that happens, the quarterback, as you know, is usually the leader of the squad. Now there's probably a silent camaraderie that comes around him saying, hey, guess what? We got you. Don't worry about it. Let's go, big fella. Because they know more times than not, he tends to pick things up, and they tend to play well.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. The Chargers on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. They're going to look to throw. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield.
So if we recount real quick, he had the touchdown earlier, and now he comes up with the sack here. No doubt about it, he's having himself a game.
This would be one heck of a record if he makes this. Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just one remaining here in this fourth quarter. On is the Chargers punter now, as he's on to kick it away. Taking a couple yards shy of midfield. That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. They had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try to cut down the length of the drive.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. Able to force him out of the pocket right, but still able to complete it. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. On 3rd and 2, Eason got his man complete over the middle. That's Hayes. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. Takes this to the 32, maybe the 31, and then the defense rallying quickly after that broken tackle. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. They'll keep it on the ground. Hurd. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college, and how about in the NFL? The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee, and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November. Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was 3rd and short, okay? They decided to throw the football. Incomplete. Yeah, they might have thought just a little bit too hard about that play selection.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. So after that hot start, the numbers here show the decline. What has the defense done adjustment-wise?
Sometimes when you have a running back who's gotten off to a hot start, you've got to catch him before he really gets going. So you change what you do across the defensive front. Instead of the linebackers being back a few yards, you bring them up closer. It's what we call mugging the line of scrimmage, taking away a lot of blocking angles and gaps and maybe stopping him before he can get going.
Mugging the line of scrimmage, okay.
Yeah, in this case.
So this one in the win column for Kansas City, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said at halftime obviously hit home. I think it's a little bit more than that, though. Obviously, there are words that are said, and hey, come on, guys, we have to play better. But sometimes it's just sharpening your execution, sharpening your focus, and maybe doing the things you practiced all week without major adjustments, just doing them better. And that got it done in this one.
So for the Chiefs, the win gets them a step closer to 500 at 5-6. And now it's off to the airport for a date with customs and a long flight north to the U.S. Meanwhile, for the home team here, we'll see how this affects their playoff standing as they fall to 7-4 now on the year. And they will finally get an extra week to heal up a bit as they will get the late bye in Week 12. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.